Have you ever wished you could see the past? Not through the faded ink of a history book or the fragmented memories of your elders, but as it truly was. To stand unseen on a Roman street, to hear the last words of a forgotten king, to witness a moment that shaped our world, raw and unfiltered. This is a desire as old as humanity itself, a yearning to peel back the layers of time. But what if this was not just a wish? What if a machine existed that could turn this profound desire into a reality? A device that offered a window, not to another place, but to another time. Imagine for a moment a secret chamber, hidden deep within the ancient walls of the Vatican. Here, away from the eyes of the world, a team of brilliant minds gathers. They are not poring over sacred texts or debating theology. They are assembling a device of unimaginable power. It is an apparatus of lenses, dials, and strange antennae all focused on a single glowing screen. They call it the Chronovisor. At the heart of this incredible story is one man, Father Pellegrino Ernetti. He was not just a Benedictine monk, he was also a respected scientist and an expert in archaic music. He was a man who lived with one foot in the world of faith and the other in the world of quantum physics. In the 1960s and 1970s, Father Ernetti began to speak. He shared a secret that would echo for generations. He claimed he was part of a team, a secret Vatican project, that had successfully built the Chronovisor. He did not speak of this in riddles. He gave names, dates, and details. According to Father Ernetti, the project brought together some of the finest minds of the 20th century. Enrico Fermi, Werner von Braun. The theory behind the machine, he explained, was that all events leave an indelible energy signature behind. Every sight, every sound continues to reverberate through the ether, like ripples in a cosmic pond. It was designed to isolate these specific energy ripples from the past and reassemble them into a coherent audio-visual stream. It was, in essence, a time television. The claims grew more specific and more astonishing. Father Ernetti told an Italian journalist that he had personally witnessed pivotal moments in history. He described watching a lost Roman play, Thyestes, by the poet Quintus Ennius. He even recited lines from it. More profoundly, he claimed to have witnessed Christ's final hours on the cross. He spoke of the agony the words spoke in the scene at Calvary, not as a matter of faith, but as an eyewitness account delivered through this fantastic machine. The world was stunned. The Church had, if Ernetti was to be believed, the ultimate proof of its foundational stories. But with extraordinary claims comes the demand for extraordinary proof. And this is where the story of the Chronovisor begins to fracture. Father Ernetti was pressed for evidence. An image he claimed was captured by the Chronovisor, showing the face of Christ on the cross. This image was published in a weekly Italian magazine in 1972, causing a sensation. However, it was soon exposed. The photograph was almost identical to a postcard of a wood carving by the artist Lorenzo Valera. The priest's credibility was shattered in the eyes of many. The mystery, however, was just beginning. After the controversy of the photograph, the story of the Chronovisor did not simply vanish. Instead, it retreated further into the world of conspiracy and speculation. The alleged photograph was a critical blow, yet for some, it was not the end of the story. They argued it was an act of disinformation. Perhaps the real proof was too dangerous to release, so a known fake was offered up to discredit the entire project and bury the secret once and for all. This line of thinking suggests that the public failure of the evidence was, in fact, a sign of its secret success, a paradox that only deepened the intrigue. The physical evidence for the Chronovisor remains entirely elusive. There are no blueprints, no verified photographs of the device itself, no independent testimony from the other supposed members of the scientific team. All that exists are second-hand accounts, newspaper clippings from the era. He maintained his story until his death in 1994. On his deathbed, He allegedly confessed that the machine was real, but that he and his colleagues had willingly dismantled it. The power to see anyone's past, anywhere, was too great. It was a violation of privacy and freedom that no man should possess. Adding another layer to the puzzle are the writings of a French priest named Father François Brune. Brune wrote the Vatican's New Mystery, detailing his conversations with Ernetti. Brune believed Ernetti completely. He argued Ernetti was a man of deep integrity trapped between his vow of secrecy to the Vatican and his desire to share a monumental discovery with the world. According to Brune, Pope Pius XII ordered the project classified and the machine hidden away. So we are left with powerful anecdotes, but no hard, verifiable proof. It is a classic conspiracy narrative. We have a secret technology, a powerful and secretive organization, a whistleblower, and a convenient lack of evidence. Skeptics argue it is the perfect recipe for a modern myth, a story that is impossible to disprove because its central claim is that all proof has been destroyed or hidden. Believers contend that in a world of secrets, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. The truth, they say, is exactly where you would expect it to be, hidden. Well, that is where the questions remain. So we arrive at the end of our journey, and we are no closer to a concrete answer. The trail has gone cold. Father Ernetti is gone. His alleged colleagues are gone. And the machine, if it ever existed, is gone. All that remains is the story. A story that has been told and retold, growing with each telling. It persists because it touches upon our most fundamental curiosities and our deepest fears. It is a testament to the power of a single, compelling narrative to captivate the human imagination, defying the need for concrete proof. The Chronovisor mystery endures because it is perfectly constructed. It contains just enough detail to be believable, but not enough evidence to be verifiable. It involves a secretive and powerful institution, the Vatican, which has always been a subject of public fascination and suspicion. It features a brilliant and credible protagonist in Father Ernetti, and it makes a claim so profound, the ability to see the past, that we cannot help but be drawn to it. The story functions like a flawless conspiracy theory, where every lack of evidence only serves to reinforce the idea of a successful cover-up. Whether it was a machine, a hoax, or a metaphor, the Chronovisor story holds a mirror up to our modern world. It reflects our obsession with surveillance, our complex relationship with technology, and our longing for certainty in an uncertain world. It is a story for an age that has lost some of its faith in institutions and is searching for truth in unconventional places. The tale of the Chronovisor may not tell us anything definitive about the past, but it tells us a great deal about the present. It reveals what we hope for, and what we are willing to believe. And so, the question hangs in the air, unanswered. We are left in the quiet of our own minds, to wonder, to imagine that room, that chair, that screen showing a silent, flickering image of a time long since past. Is the story of the Chronovisor a forgotten chapter of secret history, or is it one of the most clever and persistent fictions ever told? The answer remains locked away, perhaps in a Vatican vault, or perhaps only in the pages of old magazines and the fading memories of those who heard the tale. And we are left to ask ourselves one final, unsettling question. This is the story that has been whispered for decades. This tale is not one of fantasy or fiction, at least not to those who tell it. It is presented as a hidden truth, a secret of immense consequence. The story claims that for a time, a select few held the key to all of history. They could allegedly tune into any moment, any place, from the crucifixion of Christ to the speeches of Napoleon. They could verify sacred stories and uncover lost truths. The power of such a device would be absolute. It could rewrite everything we thought we knew about ourselves. The implications are staggering, almost too vast to comprehend. But a story of this magnitude walks a fine line between revelation and deception. It lives in the shadows, where facts are hard to find and belief is easy to cultivate. The Chronovisor narrative is built upon a foundation of mystery secrecy and the testimony of one key man. It challenges our understanding of physics, our trust in institutions, and our very perception of reality. Is it possible that the greatest invention in human history was built, used, and then deliberately hidden from us all? Or is this merely a grand legend, a cautionary tale about the dangers of seeking forbidden knowledge? Let us step into the mystery and examine the evidence. This is where the story begins. When we try to make sense of the Chronovisor, we find ourselves navigating a labyrinth of competing theories. Each one offers a different path to understanding what might have happened. The first and most sensational theory: Father Ernetti was telling the truth. The Vatican, with its vast and inscrutable resources. A secret project that bent the laws of physics. Proponents point to the Church's long history as a patron of science, and its motivation to find concrete proof of sacred history. If real, its dismantling could be seen as profound responsibility, some knowledge too dangerous for humanity. A second theory, an elaborate hoax. Father Ernetti, brilliant, perhaps frustrated. He fabricated the story for attention or unknown reasons. Evidence for a hoax, the fake photograph, the lack of corroborating witnesses, the sheer scientific implausibility of the device. In this reading, the Chronovisor wasn't metal and wires. It was a machine of words, a story that fed our desire to believe, a lie that became a legend, a third middle ground possibility, misinterpretation. Maybe they built another advanced device that was misunderstood. Let us consider the profound implications if the Chronovisor were real. The device would become the ultimate historical arbiter. History would stop being interpretation and become a science of observation. Think of the questions it could answer. We could know, with certainty, who built the pyramids. We could listen to the Sermon on the Mount. We could witness the signing of the Magna Carta. The work of historians would shift from analysis to simple reporting. Ancient mysteries could be solved in an afternoon. Our entire library of human history would have to be re-examined, likely rewritten. But absolute power to see brings an equal burden. Who would control such a device? A government? A religious institution? A private corporation? The temptation to use it for control would be immense. Political opponents could be blackmailed with secrets. Battlefield strategies could be reviewed and perfected. The very concept of a private moment would be erased. As Father Ernetti allegedly feared, it would be the end of freedom. No secret, no sin, no private conversation. Moreover, the Chronovisor could shatter the foundations of faith and culture. What if events it showed were not as the scriptures described them? What if our national heroes were revealed to have acted contemptibly? A perfect, unbiased witness might deliver truths we are not prepared to accept. Our myths and legends could crumble under the harsh light of objective reality. We might gain a perfect history, but lose our shared identity. Perhaps that's why, if it existed, the Chronovisor had to be destroyed. Its existence presents humanity with a paradox. We crave truth, but we may depend on ambiguity to survive. We seek light, but our world is built as much in the shadows. The Chronovisor would force us to confront the unvarnished past and might destroy our future. The story is a powerful thought experiment. It forces us to ask, do we really want every answer, or are some mysteries best left unsolved?